Well, it was certainly terrifying for the lawmakers and their staff members who were working when those rioters stormed Capitol Hill. The buildings were placed on lockdown. Delia Gonsalves joins me now. Dee, you've been out all day. You've been talking with several people on the Hill. We watched it from the outside, but they experienced it.
Yeah, it was a frightening ordeal and a very long day for a lot of congressmen and women that we spoke to today. We're here live at First and Independence Southeast on the southeast side of the Capitol, where you can see some emergency crews are on standby, but a very different scene from what we saw earlier this afternoon when police in riot gear were getting ready to storm the grounds of the Capitol. They were only mobilizing more than an hour after Trump supporters had stormed through the Capitol building. We talked to a lot of congressmen and women who were evacuated, were sheltering in place. Many, I'm told, were in underground bunker. Their staff members inside the House office buildings here. A lot of them were inside as well and on lockdown. So I talked to these congressmen and women. Many of them wouldn't share their locations with me, obviously, for security reasons, but they did share their thoughts and some very detailed play-by-play of what happened inside. Take a listen.
At a certain point, the Capitol Police came in the chamber and said that the protesters had breached the first floor. They asked us to, they locked all the doors. They stayed on the inside, asked us to stay in our chairs. Debate resumed. Then another report came in quickly after that by the police that the protesters were in the rotunda, which was right down the hall from us. And at that point, debate was suspended. It was suspended for probably quite a little while, maybe 15 minutes. And then we were given instructions. They tried to start debate back up again, did briefly. Then instructions then came through that we should look under our chairs for gas masks. Every other chair had a gas mask, and they asked us to get those out, be ready to put those on. Eventually, there was pounding on the doors on one side of the chamber, and when the doors were being pounded on, they asked us to evacuate.
I've never seen anything like this. I was really horrified that we saw a violent mob essentially overrun the Capitol of the United States, running over the floor of the Senate and the House, taking down American flags in front of the Capitol, replacing them with Trump flags. And this is supposed to be a moment where we respect the peaceful transfer of power.
Whether it's 10 hours, which it could be, or whether it's tomorrow or the next day, you know, I'm going to be on the floor of the House of Representatives voting to certify the election of President-elect Biden and Vice President Harris. That is our democratic constitutional responsibility.
I do feel sad because we thought this couldn't happen in our country, and obviously it can. So, but now I mostly feel strong resolve to keep fighting for the ideals that this country truly stands for.
I don't know why Donald Trump spent 3.5 hours watching this on TV before issuing some sort of a statement, and the statement was very weak. If this had been protesters of any other ilk, they would have busted heads, they would have locked people up, they would have tear gassed them and water hosed them, and they'd be in jail right now.
And that was the voice of Congressmember Kwesi Mfume of Baltimore. He used to be the president of the NAACP. Listen, Les, there was one common theme amongst all these lawmakers in the midst of all this chaos, anger, and violence: resolve. They want to get back to doing their job. Les, back to you.